want you to close your eyes, and I want you to think of a childhood memory that stands out to you. This could be a smell. This could be a place. This could be a song or a feeling. When you're ready, come back to me. Now, this moment or this memory has evoked a feeling in you. And why is that? Why did you remember whatever you just remembered? It's because those are the moments that created some sort of connection for you. Maybe it activated this feeling of aliveness in you. Maybe it was a moment that you felt safe and settled. You had equanimity in your body and in your mind. This concept really intrigues me because I'm thinking to myself, as we were making all these memories in our trip last week, why did we choose the trip we chose? Why is that important to us to be outside and in nature? Was it because of the memories my husband and I had as kids? Which, quite honestly, picking the location we did, my husband had gone on a 6-week road trip with his mom across the country to see different national parks. He said, I love the feeling of adventure, not knowing what was going to be around the corner, remembering certain things that I got to do at different stops, being together. If I were to think of my core memories, immediately I thought of sleeping under the stars next to a campfire for the first time with my dad on a lawn chair. And that was it. Nothing was covering us. It was just this feeling of hanging out with my dad, because I only saw him on weekends. He was always my adventure buddy. And then I thought of my mom. My mom would bring me boating in the summers in Wisconsin. And there is nothing better than going on a lake and playing around in the water, whether you're fishing or you're going fast or you're tubing or water skiing. There's just this feeling of joy and laughter. So again, I come back to a feeling. My aunt, she used to have a trailer in Fremont, Wisconsin, and we would sit right on the lake next to a cozy campfire, tell stories. And funny enough, that is where I go every summer without even realizing that that was going to be an intentional thing. It's almost like subconsciously, I just ended up in Fremont because it is a neutral location between Andy's family and my family. And we rent a cabin there every year, right on the water for 2 weeks. And all of those memories flood back. So do I create these memories for my kids hoping that they too will do that? Or were those moments where I came alive and I felt truly connected to the people that I was with? I would say probably a little bit of both. So as you think back to your memory, what created that for you, that you remembered that today when prompted? Now, as I look into the trip specifically, having the parent hat on now and watching my kids go through their actions throughout the trip, what stood out to me, and I will say this, core memories, I hope for them, were created by courage and connection with us and a confidence that grew in them because their aliveness felt activated and they felt embraced by just the nature and God's gifts that were around them the whole week. Hudson is my builder. You've got to meet him and hear from him, and he loves Legos. But this week, whoo, you would have saw a different version of Hudson. Hudson was jumping off bridges. He was going down rock slides. He was going on a rope swing, you guys. In fact, he went on this rope swing first before Avery. Because for Avery, what I noticed was that his courage wasn't a physical feat, because that is no problem for him. He is such an active person. However, he sat back on that rope swing experience because there was a large group of people. There were a lot of kids, a lot of parents, and when said, Avery, get over there, he said, no, I don't want to be over there right now. There's too many people. And he just kind of got this like reserved feeling. So later in the car, we were able to process that with him because we're on a road trip. And I said, what did courage look like for you guys today? And right away, Hudson said, I jumped off a bridge with Dad. That was awesome. And Avery said, well, because he eventually went over there. Once he saw Hudson, he's like, I don't think I can be topped by Hudson. I got to get over there. And what he noticed was these people were really nice. And his initial feeling, though, when he went up to this group of people or noticed them, he was worried that he was being judged. So for Avery, it is all about this people interaction where he doesn't necessarily feel like they see him in a positive way, nor does he see them in a positive way, which was really interesting because I would say by nature he's super extroverted because he jumps in and does all these activities. But it was so neat to hear his process of how he was thinking. Because one really neat moment that I think cultivated that trust in him to go over by the people was we wanted to raft down these rapids in Yosemite. However, if anybody's been there, this is something you apparently need to reserve right away at 8 a.m. We did not even get into the park until 11. Avery's vision was set. We got to get a raft and do all of the things. However, no raft was available, and it wouldn't be available again until the next day, and we weren't coming back. I, being somebody that's not really afraid of people and just kind of go for it and believe in asking questions, because why not? You're not going to know unless you ask. And the worst case is you'll get a no anyway. So I said, Avery, there's all these people over there. There's like 17 rafts sitting there. There was a combination of 6 families. I said, why don't we just go over there and ask if they're done with their rafts and if we could borrow them? Because at this point they had tubes and it looked like they brought their own that they bought. Funny enough, Yosemite does not allow you to buy anything in the park, so it's only a rental process. And so our only option was that we needed to have brought our own in. Sure enough, a family said, we're totally done with this raft. Do you guys want it? I got to go up to Avery. Avery, guess what? We got a raft. We're going down the river. He's like, really? How did we get it, Mom? I said, I asked that family. Wow, they're really nice. I said, yeah, Avery, they're really nice. You got to give people a chance. And from that moment, I just saw this spark in him, like you could tell it shifted in him. And maybe that helped him process that people aren't so bad. And lastly, Easton. Easton's my 6-year-old. There were these rock cliffs and they had different levels. And sure enough, being the youngest, he watches his big brother do this. And Avery goes right to the top, of course. Hudson, debating. I'm gonna go to the lower one. Easton swims over there, gets on the lower, looks, okay, steps to the side, lets other people go, looks. I'm watching all of this from afar. As my kids are making core memories, I'm like, oh boy, do we let them? Do we just say maybe next year? He did it. He got on that step and he went for it and he plunged in and he popped up because there was rapids. His face, he was so happy. He was so proud of himself. And I think those were the moments I hope that they carry with them. Because they're not always going to remember the trail we walked on. They're not going to remember the name of the lake that we jumped rocks off of. But they will remember how they felt. And my prayer for them is that that courage continues to stick with them because of the core memories that we hope we helped create on that trip. Thank you.